While Tanjiro's mastery of sun breathing was the key to defeating Muzan during the sunrise countdown, it also meant that we never got to see his innovative spirit. Think about it, Zenitsu created a new form of thunder breathing, and Inosuke created his breathing style from scratch. So what if Tanjiro didn't just rediscover sun breathing, but pushed it further to create something new? In today's video, we'll explore a timeline where Tanjiro develops his own breathing style. And before we get into Tanjiro crafting his own breathing style, let's recap everything that doesn't change in this timeline. The tragedy at the Kamado household still occurs the same way, with Muzan attacking the family and transforming Nezuko into a demon. Giyu discovers the siblings, takes pity on them, and sends them back to Orokodaki so that the former Hashira can subdue Nezuko and teach Tanjiro the art of water breathing. The first few arcs are going to play out the same way in this timeline, as most of the demons Tanjiro encountered early in his journey were easily handled by water breathing. This means that Tanjiro will make it past the Tsuzumi Mansion arc as well without feeling the need to develop anything beyond what Orokodaki taught him. But things change during Tanjiro's battle with Ryu on Mount Naragumo, as he's quickly overwhelmed by the Lower Moon 5. Even with Nezuko joining in the battle and Tanjiro finding the opening thread, he still fails to put away the demon after his sword shatters mid-slash. In the original story, Tanjiro awakens the Hinokami Kagura in his desperate moment, as the memories of his father's dance flood back, allowing him to cut through Rui's webs. Thanks to sun breathing, Tanjiro is able to survive until Giyu arrives, but the strain of the new technique is devastating. He collapses immediately as the adrenaline wears off, and it takes days to recover after they return to the Butterfly Mansion. Tanjiro doesn't have much time to think about the Hinokami Kagura from this point on, as he's called to accompany Rengoku on a mission soon after he recovers. But Shinobu points out this would be a great opportunity for Tanjiro to find out some answers about his technique, because if anyone knows about the dance of the fire god, it's going to be the Flame Hashira. Once again, the encounter on the Mugen train proceeds in pretty much the same way, as Tanjiro was the first to break through Enmu's blood demon art. Tanjiro and Inosuke work together to take down the Lower Moon 1, with Tanjiro using sun breathing once again to cut through the train and behead Enmu. But then Akaza appears, and Tanjiro realizes that he's in no shape to help Rengoku. For one, he's completely outclassed by them. But the bigger issue is that switching to sun breathing had completely destroyed Tanjiro's body once again. Tanjiro had worked on his strength and conditioning while he was recovering at the Butterfly Mansion, but even that wasn't enough to prepare him for the strain of using Hinokami Kagura. It's at this point that Tanjiro becomes disillusioned with his father's dance. What's the use of a technique if it makes you a liability before all the foes are defeated? Kyojuro Rengoku still dies at Akaza's hands, but in his final moments, he directs Tanjiro to the Rengoku family archives to learn more about the origins of sun breathing. But here's where things get interesting. Tanjiro's already decided that just the Hinokami Kagura won't do. The brilliance and raw power of sun breathing is great, but he needs something that's gentler on his body and fast enough to match even Akaza's blinding speed. Now we already know that Tanjiro is great at adapting to changes, as we saw him copying concepts from Zenitsu's thunder breathing in the Entertainment District arc. So this time, he decides to take concepts from the breathing styles he's witnessed so far and create a new version that surpasses sun breathing itself. The low-impact movements of water breathing are the foundation of this technique, as he aims for a style that lets him drag out fights against powerful demons until sunrise. Tanjiro realizes that the powerful slashes of sun breathing are vital to take out top-tier demons, but they need to be lighter. Yoriichi could handle sun breathing thanks to his unique constitution, but there was a reason no one could master it afterward. The unrelenting power of proper sun breathing was just too much for the average person. Turning it to a dance through the Hinokami Kagura allowed the Kamado family to preserve the form of sun breathing without the added strain. Tanjiro compresses and sharpens the dance-like movements of sun breathing, with each strike becoming faster and more precise. He doesn't realize it yet, but Tanjiro's not just creating an offshoot of sun breathing. He's unknowingly refining it into something faster, something sharper. He's creating light breathing. This is where Shinobu Kocho becomes crucial to Tanjiro's development. As the insect Hashira, Shinobu understands better than anyone how to adapt breathing styles to maximize speed and precision over raw power. Her entire fighting philosophy revolves around lightning-fast strikes with her poison blade, as she does not have the strength to behead stronger demons. When Shinobu watches Tanjiro training, she immediately connects his disorderly strikes with the development of a new technique. She went through the same phases while developing insect breathing. Shinobu takes Tanjiro under her wing, helping him analyze and refine the new technique that he's developing. Over the following weeks, they discover that Tanjiro has essentially condensed the Hinokami Kagura into something more concentrated, replacing broad, sweeping attacks with pinpoint accuracy and overwhelming speed. They officially name it light breathing, because the afterimage of Tanjiro's strikes are now as bright and direct as pure rays of light. In the months leading up to the Entertainment District arc, Tanjiro perfects 9 complete forms of light breathing with Shinobu's continued guidance. The first form, Ray Pierce, is a straight thrust that moves faster than the eye can follow, creating a beam-like effect. The third form, Prism Slash, unleashes multiple simultaneous cuts from different angles, overwhelming the demon's defenses. The sixth form, Solar Flare, is closer to the style's origins from sun breathing, and consists of multiple circular slashes that create a blinding sphere of light and Nichirin steel. Tanjiro gradually becomes more confident in his light breathing, but everything changes in the Entertainment District arc. The team faces Daki as usual, but after realizing that he's up against an upper moon, Tanjiro loses his conviction and returns to his his old water-breathing style. But Tanjiro had been neglecting his water-breathing leading up to the entertainment arc, and he quickly became a liability, with his friends struggling to make up for his lapses. Seeing Nezuko getting slashed viciously by Daki's Obi finally pushed Tanjiro in the right headspace, and he settled on using light breathing, for better or for worse. The difference is felt immediately, as Tanjiro completely dominates Daki. His light breathing cuts through Daki's Obi before she can even begin to counterattack, and together with Nezuko's burning blood, the Upper Moon's technique is completely blown apart. But the real difference comes when Tanjiro switches to supporting Tengen against Gyutaro. Light breathing speed finally allows Tanjiro to keep up with the Upper Moon 6's movements. He's not as fast as Tengen, but he's fast enough to matter. Tanjiro's Prism Slash creates openings that the Sound Hashira exploits ruthlessly. Thanks to Tanjiro buying him more time, Tengen is able to activate his musical score technique before being critically injured, and delivers a barrage that completely overwhelms Gyutaro. But the battle is still brutal, with both Tengen and Inosuke being poisoned. But unlike the original timeline, Tengen avoids losing his eye and arm, and the Demon Slayers never get buried under rubble. During the Swordsmith Village arc, Tanjiro faces Hantengu alongside Mitsuri and Genya, but there's no real reason for anything to change here, as the Demon Slayers won with no casualties. By the time the Hashira training arc arrives, Tanjiro has refined light breathing to near perfection. He's developed additional forms and variations, making the style incredibly versatile. The Hashira are split in their opinions after learning of sun breathing through the Rengoku family archives. Some, like Shinobu and Mitsuri, see Tanjiro as a prodigy who's advanced the art of demon slaying, but demon slayers like Gyomei and Giyu worry that Tanjiro not using sun breathing while being capable is a waste of a powerful asset. If this was the breathing style that drove Muzan into hiding centuries ago, it makes no sense to replace it with an untested new technique. But before the demon slayers can reach a decision, Nakime's blood demon art activates and the Infinity Castle arc begins. Inside the castle, Tanjiro encounters Giyu, and together they face Akaza once again. This rematch is completely different from the Mugen Train. Akaza remembers the boy who watched Rengoku die, but he's unprepared for what Tanjiro has become. Light breathing speed allows Tanjiro to match Akaza's movements in ways that shock the Upper Moon 3. Once Tanjiro unlocks the Selfless State and bypasses the demon's compass needle, Akaza struggles even more with Tanjiro's blinding speed and resorts to blindly unleashing shockwaves. Both demon slayers unlock their marks during this intense battle, and Tanjiro finally breaks through Akaza's martial arts with his light-breathing fourth form, Radiant Severance. When Muzan finally faces the assembled Demon Slayer Corps, his attention immediately locks onto Tanjiro. He recognizes sun-breathing in Tanjiro's movements. There's something different, something refined. This isn't the technique that nearly killed him 400 years ago. Muzan realizes with horror that Tanjiro hasn't just inherited Yorichi's power, he's improved upon it. As dawn approaches, Tanjiro pushes light-breathing to its absolute limit. As the Demon Slayers converge upon Muzan, Tanjiro unleashes the light-breathing ninth form, Supernova. Just like Yorichi figured out all those years ago that the key to defeating Muzan was to combine all the forms of sun-breathing into one, Tanjiro blends his techniques into a sustained barrage instead of a single burst. The continuous barrage of precision cuts, together with Tamayo's drug, completely overwhelms Muzan's regeneration. In the final moments before dawn, Tanjiro himself realizes the truth. Light breathing isn't separate from sun breathing, it's the natural evolution of it. This was what Yorichi intended when he taught breathing styles to the Demon Slayers. They were supposed to take the form and evolve it with their own traits. As the sun rises and Muzan disintegrates, Tanjiro stands victorious and the Demon Slayers can finally disband, now that their mission is complete. Light breathing becomes Tanjiro's legacy, proof that even the most perfect technique can be improved when combined with will and determination. So what do you think? Is Tanjiro's original style more compelling than his journey of rediscovering sun breathing? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.